Another twist in the elections Alberta investigation.
The issue is whether someone who has direct relations to Danielle Smith knew what was going on and did nothing.
The UCP admits caucus staff attended a separatist meeting where supporters were being trained to use the voters list. Plus, a man is rushed to hospital from a southwest home after being stabbed.
He said, he wanted to kill me, he had a knife and everything. It was very scary.
Police still searching for a suspect. And an incredible work of art by a master craftsman.
On this template, I probably measured 50 times before I laid it out and then drilled the holes.
It's not just for show, though. This wooden bike is ready to roll.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. The opposition NDP says it has evidence that two people in the Premier's inner circle attended an online Centurion project meeting. That's the meeting where the Alberta voters list was allegedly shared online as part of an illegal database. Jacqueline Wilson is following this for us. Jackie, the NDP also says the UCP knew about this breach much earlier than it's admitting.
Yes, Tara. So in question period today, Premier Danielle Smith repeatedly denied knowing about the data breach until about April 29th or 30th, saying she found out from media reports. However, later today, the UCP caucus sent out a statement admitting their staff was in the April 16th meeting. And the reason that they didn't say anything is that, quote, the organizers of this meeting were adamant that the data being used was obtained legally at the time. The staff observing the meeting had no reason to believe the website in question was unlawful. Now, the NDP alleged that people with the same names as the president of the UCP, Rob Smith, and the UCP caucus director, Arandeep Singh, attended the meeting. But the UCP denies Rob Smith was there. They did not respond to our question about Sandhu. Now, the official opposition also says that one point in the meeting, former Premier Jason Kenney's information was searched and shown as an example to attendees of just how to use the database.
If these are indeed the same people, and all evidence points to them being the same people, this scandal is far worse than we imagined. It means that the Premier's own staff and her most senior party officials knew about this data breach and did nothing. And I will remind you that that is illegal.
Jason Kenney just posted on social media that it is disturbing that his personal information is now broadly available, and he is retaining legal counsel to seek advice on what he calls an outrageous and potentially dangerous violation of his personal privacy. The NDP says that it has turned over that recording to RCMP for their investigation, and CTV has reached out to Rob Smith, Arandeep Sandhu directly for further comment, but we haven't heard back quite yet. Tara?
Okay, Jackie, thank you. A stabbing in a quiet southwest neighborhood this morning sent one man to hospital. Calgary police are now looking for a suspect and investigating what led up to that violent altercation as some neighbors watched the whole thing unfold. Tyson Fedor reports.
Ava Panajot has lived on this quiet Glamorgan street for more than 6 decades.
It was so scary. There were 6 police car came.
Panajot was looking out her bedroom window when she saw a man being stabbed right across the street.
It was a real life drama. You know, I usually see things like that on television.
She says the victim was yelling with a woman when the altercation happened.
He was bending down like this. And then he said, he wanted to kill me, he had a knife and everything.
When members got here, they located a male with stab wounds and he's been transported in a serious condition to a hospital.
Police responded shortly before 10 a.m. to the 100 block of Glacier Drive Southwest. Blood could be seen on the front steps, along with pillows, blankets, and a power cord. Late Tuesday afternoon, investigators laid down evidence markers photographing the crime scene.
Detectives will obviously be examining the scene as well to see if there's any clues as to find out what actually happened and what the motive is behind this assault.
A man in his 50s was taken to hospital in serious condition, but his status was upgraded to stable. A woman was taken into custody but has since been released.
I never met. They just moved here. This is a very quiet neighborhood. And I've been here since 1960.
Police say they are actively looking for a suspect who is believed to know the victim.
And Tyson is outside that home in Glamorgan tonight. Tyson, investigators have just left the scene.
In the last 20 minutes or so, Tara, investigators packed up and cleaned up that police tape and the markers that were left here on the ground. They came here around 4 o'clock as they started to begin collecting evidence in this crime scene. Now, that's when they collected that evidence. That's when they began going through garbage bags. They went through a lot of items from inside the home, bringing them outside the home to look for any evidence to piece this puzzle together. Now, police do say that there is no risk to the public at this point, despite that suspect still being on the run. Investigators are hopeful that tomorrow this case will bring with it some more information. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you. Calgarians are happy and they don't mind it being known. More than 3/4 of people in a recent survey rated their overall quality of life as good. But traffic and roads still remain a top priority that residents want to see addressed. Tyler Barrow has more.
People in Calgary seem to be enjoying life.
I'm really happy to live here in Calgary. I call Calgary home.
I really enjoy living in Calgary. I think it has a great energy.
Love it here. I moved here from Toronto and I moved here and I'm now living the best of my life.
That is mostly what Calgary's spring survey indicates. 76% of Calgarians rate their overall quality of life as good, while 74% say Calgary is a great place to make a life, and 68% rate Calgary as a great place to make a living. And as far as bang for their buck, the majority of respondents are satisfied with city services and programs.
Show a significant rebound in the trust and confidence that Calgarians have in us as a council and administration.
But there is room for improvement. Nearly 40% of Calgarians polled say traffic congestion and the quality of roads in the city are top concerns.
Traffic is concerned during the rush hours. We find pretty much the main routes are still clogging really bad.
Very frustrated. You know, not too long ago I had to tie something in my car because it was loose because of the hose.
And summer road work will be busy again. Last year, the city managed 3,200 projects, resulting in 7,700 incidents.
This year's we anticipate a busy construction season. The city does a lot of behind-the-scenes work to help coordinate between the different agencies and the different projects to keep Calgarians moving.
Okay, so roads and traffic a big concern. Tyler, what other priorities do Calgarians want to see addressed?
Tara, crime, safety, and policing was the second highest concern, which was mentioned by 21% of respondents. Planning and development, along with transit, were also top worries. Now, one issue that dropped in concern, affordable housing and homelessness, which went from 3rd to 5th. Tara?
Okay, Tyler, thank you. It is a big day for non-playoff teams in the NHL. Glenn joins us now. And Glenn, the draft lottery was held.
Tara, the Flames, of course, one of those non-playoff teams, and they were hoping they could move up from 4th, but it's the Toronto Maple Leafs who had the right number in the NHL draft lottery. They move up from 5 to get the first overall pick in this year's NHL entry draft in June. They also had a lottery for the second overall pick, and it's the San Jose Sharks who pull number 7. As for the Flames, it couldn't have been a much worse case scenario for them. Flames drop to drafting 6th. Tough break for the Flames for sure. The NHL draft will be held in Buffalo, June 26th and 27th. And Tara, we're going to hear from Craig Conroy a little later.
Okay, Glenn, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
We've got some warm days ahead. Gina joins us now. We're getting the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, from a weather lottery standpoint, we're looking pretty good by the time we get into midweek here. A lot of blue sky right now, a little bit of a preview of what's to come heading into tomorrow. We've got some work to do on the temperature front. Still breezy out there with those northeasterly winds now coming in between 20 and 40 kilometers an hour, but seeing a lot of clearing on the radar satellite here. That clearing continuing throughout the overnight hours. So that'll cool things off quite a bit to 0 for our low, so a bit of a chilly start to Wednesday, but that sun has an early start as well, at warming us up to a high of 23 by tomorrow afternoon. A little later in the show, we'll talk about the slight chance of some showers, maybe even some isolated thunderstorms. Tara.
Nice, Gina, thank you. An 84-year-old retiree has taken his love of woodworking for a spin, building a full-sized rideable bicycle out of wood. A wooden bicycle made from scratch. Kevin Green caught up with him this morning as he put the finishing touches on his incredible masterpiece in his garage just outside Calgary.
Anton Cook saw a custom-built wooden bike for sale on eBay. It piqued the interest of the retired engineer, and he thought, could he build it better?
And I said, it's an idea, something I could do that I could do over time. Won't take a lot of wood.
Listed at $6,000, the online model had a metal chain and gears. Cook made his from wood.
So I did spend probably 2 months thinking and on paper and calculating, figuring, okay, how can I get the sprocket to match? Because the number of cogs on the sprocket have to match the links.
In the end, he crafted every link by hand, one at a time, and aside from a couple of hidden screws in key stress points and bearings in the hub, the bike is wood through and through. Cook designed everything himself after measuring up a bicycle in a department store.
The blueprint is in my head.
The bike is built from birch, walnut, oak, and maple, all laminated together for strength, the grains carefully aligned to prevent cracking. But one of the biggest tasks was to make sure it would actually be rideable. The handlebars, a particular challenge.
It has to be horizontal to the earth, and it has to be at 90 degrees to the wheel. And the third thing is it's fitting at an angle.
And when it finally came together, even he was surprised.
And I couldn't believe it. First try, everything worked.
Some parts were so complex he had to build his own tools just to finish the job, like drill bits crafted from coat hangers.
I had to have a long bit to reach in, and I didn't have one, so I said, well, I got to make one.
The bike isn't just for show.
It's rideable.
And it will be ridden at least once in what Cook says will be his Orville Wright moment. He says after thousands of hours of work, he's nearly ready for that first spin. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
That is incredible. And Cook expects to take the bike out for its inaugural ride in mid-June. CTV News Calgary has earned an exceptional number of nominations in one of Canada's most prestigious journalism award competitions. We have 10 nominations in RTDNA Canada's Awards of Excellence for the Prairie region. The annual awards honor the best work in digital and video. We received nominations for stories about a deadly rock slide in Banff National Park, cyber criminals targeting youth, a motorcycle business venture, the Blacksmith World Championships, a former Calgary Stampeder fighting ALS, and a youth boxing program for troubled teens. Our live productions of the municipal election, the Stampede Parade, and Remembrance Day services are also finalists. And CTV News at 6 is a finalist for Best TV Newscast. Winners will be announced in September. It has been 5 years since a newly elected council declared a climate emergency. Now Calgary's current council will debate whether to scrap that declaration altogether. And later, students from the U of C built a satellite in their spare time and watched as it began its space voyage. Today is Red Dress Day, a national day of awareness and remembrance for missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. Moses Waldo joins us from a ceremony along Memorial Drive tonight. And Moses, plenty of stories being shared today.
That's right, Tara. All those who gathered sharing their close personal ties, remembering the names on the dresses, ribbons, and T-shirts that were strung along here on Memorial Drive and the effect it's had on their lives. On Memorial Drive, red dresses, T-shirts, and ribbons are just another reminder of the lives lost or missing as people gather in remembrance. Vanessa Badger Hunter knows the feeling after her daughter went missing in January 2021, only to be found dead in May of that year.
Last year was my first year. It was kind of hard, so I talked about her on October 4th. Was the very first time I ever talked about her, and it was hard to do that, but this will be my second time talking about her, so hopefully it'll be a bit easier.
The National Day of Awareness and Remembrance for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit people is also known as Red Dress Day, coined by a Métis artist, Jamie Black, and serves as a visual symbol for the cause.
As I dance and my jingles are going, it's like we're sending a message back up to them that, you know, we're still here. We're still saying your name. We're not letting you be forgotten.
Organizers say the event is part of a coordinated effort to bring awareness. According to the Assembly of First Nations, Indigenous women make up 16% of all female homicide victims and 11% of missing women. Yet, Indigenous people only make up just over 4% of the population. That's where organizations like the Women's Centre of Calgary came to share its solidarity with the Indigenous community.
On a person-to-person level, there's so much that we can do. There's so much we can do around housing, food security, domestic violence. We all have a role to play in knowing our neighbors, helping our neighbors.
And a day where Badger Hunter and countless others can heal through the tough times.
Today is like one of those days where you can just let out some of those hard feelings that you cannot let out even at home by yourself. Because you got to come to gatherings like this in order to find somebody to even just to stand by or even watch or even just listen to.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Calgary.
And more events will continue this week. The Aboriginal Friendship Centre of Calgary will host a red dress powwow at the Big Four on Friday. Calgary's climate emergency declaration is under the microscope again, and it could be scrapped by this new council. The plan was passed nearly 5 years ago to show that the city was serious about reducing emissions, but it's become a contentious policy, and some say it should just go away. Here's Jordan Canigan.
Calgary's climate emergency declaration was one of the first policies passed by then-Mayor Jyoti Gondek in 2021, but a new council is looking to claw it back.
People are putting more stock in this declaration than what the declaration really is focusing on. And as we chum the waters with this conversation about a climate emergency, it's distracting from, again, this council focusing on what are we delivering for Calgarians.
The declaration means all city departments have to consider climate impacts and explore emissions reduction opportunities. It was meant to support a goal to be net zero by 2050.
It's dubious at best that this performative climate emergency declaration delivered on things that Calgarians care about.
Programs pushing solar panels, incentivizing energy-efficient homes, and expanding pathways all fall under the city's climate plan. If the emergency is rescinded, those projects wouldn't just disappear.
I don't know that the declaration actually really resulted in any strong, lasting policy or actions that have really resulted in improving the lives and livelihoods of Calgarians.
Some councillors also want a full audit of costs. The Climate and Environment Department has an operating budget of $26 million, but climate-related spending across all departments exceeds $200 million.
The whole climate emergency concept has been embedded throughout the organization. So there's so many decisions that are made that are tied to the climate emergency concept. And that's where I want to see us dig deeper into all of this.
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
The notices of motion passed a committee this morning, but the full debate will happen at a council meeting later this month. A couple of new bus services are launching soon, making it easier to get to the Badlands. Fixed Bus will operate direct routes from Calgary starting May 14th. Buses will stop in downtown Drumheller and the Royal Tyrrell Museum. Then in June, Drumheller will see the launch of Valley Connect, a free hop-on, hop-off shuttle connecting tourist hotspots like the Royal Tyrrell, the Hoodoos, and the Atlas Coal Mine. Southern Alberta's newest wildlife underpass is already being put to good use. The Highway 3 Rock Creek underpass in Pincher Creek was recently completed. It provides a safe crossing for deer, elk, and other wildlife, helping reduce vehicle collisions. Within the first month of operation, more than 70 animals, including big cats, raccoons, and deer, passed through the underpass. It's part of the Reconnecting the Rockies Alberta project, which involves a number of environmental and government agencies.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Gina back in now as we look at our 5-day forecast, which is pretty terrific.
Yeah, I mean, looking outside right now, we're seeing a lot of blue sky out there, clearing conditions underway. We're just playing a little catch up when it comes to the temperatures. Over the last 48 hours here, it's been slightly below seasonal, and we can have the winds in part to thank for that. Still coming out of the north, but a lot calmer right now. The wind speeds have been fluctuating throughout the last couple of hours here, so wouldn't be surprised if they pick up once again from the northeast at around 20 to 40 kilometers kilometers an hour, but everything settles quite nicely as we approach the overnight hours. Temperatures right now, though, we're sitting at 10 degrees. That is our high so far for today. Might be a chance we boost up to 11 like Lethbridge did. Other places, though, 10 degrees for Brooks and Medicine Hat as well. Central part of the province, pretty similar setup. We've been talking about this story for the last couple of days. We're all kind of in the thick of it with these cooler temperature values because of the jet stream right now, but that readjusts as we head into tomorrow and we get some fabulous temperatures because of it. 23 in store for us, so back above seasonal. That story also for Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Brooks. Really a bulk of the province is going to benefit from that ridge as it moves in. So this is what it looks like on your radar satellite right now, just getting the dying, dissipating clouds there, but expanding this map out to the bigger story here. There's this low pressure system, we showed this yesterday, that's just really steering a lot of air towards it across the states and just right up, we're at the tail end of it here in Alberta. So that low is moving away from us to allow this ridge to push in. So that's what's going to happen heading into Wednesday. But in the next hit, I'll show you, even though we're looking pretty safe and secure at the higher elevations up in the atmosphere, down at the surface, some instability could be brewing by the time we get into Wednesday evening. But by Thursday and Friday, we get more of that ridge, kind of an omega block pattern, but a pretty weak looking one. But that'll help us out through the next couple of days here for the most part. There is a chance on Saturday we do see temperatures return closer to seasonal. That even could start in some places as early as Friday. Building cloud and temperatures starting to moderate a little bit. But for the next 3 days here, many places are going to be in the low 20s or the high teens, a good amount of sunshine. And again, maybe a little bit of late day instability for Wednesday evening, carrying into Thursday morning there. Coming up in our next hit, we will take a look at what's going on in more detail for Saturday, but that's a look at your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
Canada's next Governor General comes with an impressive and distinguished resume. Louise Arbour is a former Supreme Court Justice and former United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. The 79-year-old prosecuted war criminals in international tribunals, securing a conviction against perpetrators of genocide in Rwanda and indicting the leader of the former Yugoslavia. This may be seen as a reminder of what sets Canada apart at a time the U.S. is undermining global institutions.
The conviction that institutions are the load-bearing walls of a civil society, and that they remain trustworthy only as long as someone is willing to hold them accountable.
Canada is a wonderful country, shaped by its diversity of people, of perspectives and experiences, but I think shaped also mostly by a common respect for strong public institutions and for the rule of law.
Arbour's deep resume may help Carney avoid his predecessor Justin Trudeau's problematic choices. Julie Payette was accused of abusing Rideau Hall staff, while Mary Simon, the first Indigenous Governor General, is not fluent in French. A warning tonight about bumping up the speed limit on the QE2. A truck driver who crashed on that highway says faster speeds will lead to more crashes and more injuries. And hundreds of young job seekers took the first steps today to try to lock down a job in a tough market. Those stories are still ahead. An Alberta man who almost died on the QE2 highway is pleading with drivers to be careful. The former tow truck operator is upset that the province increased the speed limit on a portion of the highway south of Leduc. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, he says it is only a matter of time before someone else gets hurt.
That accident has changed my life, not in a good way, forever.
It was December 2018. Calvin Finnegan set up his tow truck to warn traffic. When he got out to help his colleague on the call, he heard an approaching semi, then the impact.
That first semi moved over for us, and then out of the snow cloud of him came another semi. He hit both trucks and the truck that moved over. And then the third semi had nowhere to go.
Finnegan and his colleague ran into the median. That's when the third semi, seen on the left, hit him.
Tried to yell for help because I couldn't get up. And thankfully, I felt the glove of my partner brush the snow off my face, and him and one of the truck drivers, they ended up pulling me out of the ditch into safety.
He suffered life-altering injuries.
Injuries that will never heal. I have severe nerve damage in my left arm. I have severe pain in my shoulder that prevents me from doing all sorts of things, playing with my kids.
The crash happened on the same stretch of the QE2, where the province recently increased the speed limit to 120 kilometers per hour.
I think we're going to get a lot more people doing that 140 kilometer-hour speed down that highway.
Finnegan, who is now a semi-driver, says people don't pay enough attention to be increasing limits, especially where there's only 2 lanes.
That third lane can just be a free-flow lane, and I think that would be a lot safer. And I think that needs to be taken into consideration before we talk about increasing the speed limit on that highway.
The new speed limit is being piloted on a 22-kilometer stretch and expected to last through the end of the summer. Finnegan hopes it's only temporary.
Be a little bit more patient. They have families they want to go home to. And the maybe 5 minutes it takes for you to get past the emergency vehicle or past that big truck, it can be life-changing.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The City of Calgary has updated its Plan Your Trip hub to keep traffic flowing during construction season. The hub launched last year and it's now been improved based on feedback from Calgarians. The city says it's now easier to understand traffic conditions, detours and travel impacts. It includes real-time updates as route conditions change, and the information addresses all modes of transportation, including walking, wheeling and cycling. But those aren't the only changes.
We've made some enhancements to the website, so we've added some new tools, allowing people not only to see what's happening today, but also to look into the future, or if you want to look at a specific time frame or a weekend when you're planning your trip.
You can find the traffic tool at calgary.ca/planyourtrip. Some kids are just natural rule followers, and then they have to make sure everyone in the house is too. I guess that includes the dolls. Our trending videos are next. Satellite built by University of Calgary students during their free time is now in space after a successful launch over the weekend. Alicia Philberg met up with some of the young students today as they communicated with their creation as it orbits 500 kilometers above Earth.
And liftoff of Falcon 9.
As this SpaceX rocket launches, a group of University of Calgary students gathers to witness a satellite they built release into space.
It feels so surreal. Hitting all of our milestones has been really, really rewarding.
And it wasn't a school project, but an idea created by students.
Their project, their desire, their inspiration, and their motivation to be the people that launched Calgary's first student-built and designed satellite.
The satellite, roughly the size of a loaf of bread, is now orbiting Earth, communicating through the antenna at the Rothney Astrophysical Observatory.
This is where the real action is. It feels, without being able to communicate with it, you're basically just flying a brick. So being able to kind of contribute to getting that information and starting this new phase of the satellite is really exciting.
It's moving. Yeah. Through the next 3 years, the students will be working here, collecting data for research.
It's a lot of really exciting firsts for the team, and getting to see all of the work kind of culminate at this stage is quite rewarding.
About 100 students, mostly undergraduates, have been involved since Calgary to Space started in 2020. And some are surprised when they add up all the free time they've spent working on it.
I'm going to throw 500 hours. Oh! Okay! Over 2,000 hours.
So it was really exciting to see such a project being undertaken by students and to be able to contribute to it.
The team hopes Frontier Sat shows others what you can achieve when you set your sights high.
I hope people will feel inspired, feel ready to kind of take on new opportunities.
Alicia Philberg, CTV News, Calgary.
That is very impressive. Wow. Okay, well, this is a struggle many parents and guardians know all too well, trying to get the kids to follow the rules. So this mom got creative.
Rules for the hotel that children need to follow. Thank you. You have to sleep with your diaper on. You cannot sleep without a sleep diaper. No yelling.
It helps when they can't read. She's using the Book of Mormon that she probably pulled out of the nightside table, pretending it is the hotel rule book. The rules are pretty simple, like keep your diaper on, don't yell, listen to mom and dad.
These are the boundaries.
Go to bed, probably. That was rule number one. Just go to bed. She's smart. She's thinking fast. Well, this kid takes rules very seriously, like to the letter. That's cute. Mom said no shoes in the house, so this 3-year-old, she follows rules to the T. That even means leaving the doll's pink shoes right next to all the other outdoor shoes.
What great imagination,
that is
right?
So
I mean,
so cute.
So cute. Oh boy. Well, tourists in China's Sichuan province are taking to the sky at a scenic waterfall in the region. Just look at this. This is the fairy flying from the sky experience. Visitors get a chance to soar around this mountainous waterfall. Organizers say it allows visitors to shift from viewing the scenery to becoming part of the scenery.
Wow.
You just have to be brave enough to strap yourself into that thing.
Yeah.
And they'll fling you around the waterfall, no problem.
You might be a little wet when you're done.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
I have a feeling I wouldn't be as graceful.
It looks pretty cool. You have to travel with your ribbon dress, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. Wow. Well, Canada has seen a spike in exports over the last 6 months. We'll look at how it compares to our imports just ahead in our business report.
Well, it was cool and cloudy throughout the afternoon, but that high pressure is starting to move in and the clouds are moving out. So ending the day with a bit of that blue sky and more of that sunshine making its way to the surface here, but not expecting temperatures to move much from where we're at now. We're sitting at 10. That was all we got to for our high so far today. I mean, sunset isn't until 9 o'clock this evening, so there's a slight chance that maybe we get up 1 more degree or so, but really the warm up is going to develop tomorrow afternoon. So later tonight, we'll start to see those temperatures drop off, and it could be a little breezy out there as we look at your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace, fixed right or it's free. Down to 0 tonight with more of that clearing underway, so that'll allow a sunny start to Wednesday. 4 degrees to kick off the morning, and then look how much we warm up throughout the afternoon. 23 degrees, but a 30% chance of some showers moving in. So even though high pressure is happening upper in the atmosphere, down at the surface, what could happen is a little bit of what we call lee troughing, which is instability on our side of the Rocky Mountains. So we kind of see that develop on our futurecast here. Wednesday afternoon, starting to see some isolated showers develop. And then overnight, some areas building in intensity close to Nanton and Lethbridge there could get some isolated thunderstorms as well. Wouldn't rule it out for the Calgary area too. We'll see how this model progresses. But Thursday could be another chance of some late afternoon showers or thunderstorms as well. Temperature-wise, we're looking great for the next 10 days here. Seasonal, if not slightly above it, with a couple of days first in the 20s.
Alberta's NDP claims 2 senior UCP members attended a virtual meeting where people were trained on how to use the Separatist Project database at the center of a privacy breach investigation. Allegedly, at one point in the video, former Premier Jason Kenney's personal information was brought up on screen as an example. A man is in serious but stable condition after being stabbed in Glamorgan. Police are still looking for a suspect. And Calgarians are reporting a strong quality of life in a new survey, but respondents are frustrated with roads and traffic, ranking that as their top priority over crime and safety. Hundreds of newcomers and young people gathered at Platform Calgary today, hoping to break into a tough and competitive labor market. The second annual Youth Employment Summit, hosted by the Calgary Catholic Immigration Society, brought together employers and job seekers for a day of hiring and skills building. Mark Villani has more on the event and the push to help the next generation access more opportunities.
These young job seekers are putting pen to paper, handing out resumes and making connections with prospective employers. Mohammed Shkay moved to Canada from Morocco 3 months ago, but finding a new opportunity is easier said than done.
The requirements are getting higher and higher.
Alberta's overall unemployment rate sits at 6.5%. But if you're between the ages of 18 and 24, that rate more than doubles. It's why more than 340 newcomers are getting a chance to change that trend, taking part in workshops to aid in resume building, interview prep, and workplace skills at the CCIS Youth Employment Summit.
We don't have the full picture of the Canadian market and workplace culture, and they were helping us a lot.
while they apply for a job, it's all about who you know and who knows you, and taking the time to learn local employers' expectations, right? How to market, how to talk about their skills.
And those skills are more important than ever. A recent Angus Reid poll found that roughly 80% of Canadian youth describe the job market as bad or terrible.
We're seeing numbers that, notwithstanding the blip from the pandemic, we really haven't seen in the better part of 30 years.
Experts say the rising cost of living, a slowing economy, and growing competitiveness are all factors. Pamela Nascimento moved to Calgary from Brazil, but making connections is helping her overcome the fear of rejection.
I feel that I'm more prepared to find a job, to stay in the job, which is really important as well. I feel that I'm more mentally strong now.
And sometimes the best advice from employers is to keep it simple.
Be yourself, right? It's so easy right now to talk to Mr. Google to help you write a resume or AI to help you write a resume, but it's not you.
I'm on my way to find the right path.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Canada exported more in March than it imported, and that's a reversal from February. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez.
The trade surplus, as it's called, was about $1.8 billion in March, and it is the first one we've seen in 6 months. Exports increased 8.5%. Imports fell 1.6%. Canada exported more gold and energy to the world, with the start of the war in Iran paralyzing the Strait of Hormuz. And about $49 billion worth of cars and light trucks were sent to the U.S. in March, and that's the highest it's been in a year. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to $73.40. West Texas Intermediate down over $4 to $102.27. Western Canadian Select up over $5 to $83.88. And the TSX lost 71 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marla Fernandez.
The Women's NBA and Bell Media have announced an historic rights agreement. The broadcast and streaming deal will see Bell Media become the official media partner of the Toronto Tempo. TSN will broadcast and stream Tempo games, regular season WNBA games, as well as the playoffs, finals, and draft. CTV and Crave will also simulcast select Tempo games throughout the season, including the home opener on Friday. CTV News is a division of Bell Media. A popular annual festival in the city is on the move. The International Avenue Arts and Culture community says Global Fest will move to Spruce Meadows this year. The annual fireworks festival has been at Elliston Park since it launched more than 20 years ago. The International Avenue group says it wasn't consulted about the move, and it will lead to a loss of revenue for many local businesses. Still to come. Here's some inspiration for you. This Calgary runner is in his 70s, and the number of marathons he's run also in the 70s. That story is next. An iconic Vancouver landmark is being transformed ahead of the 2026 World Cup. Science World will become the Beautiful Dome, a giant recreation of the official match ball, 40 meters in diameter. The work begins tomorrow. It will take about 4 weeks to complete. The dome will host an exhibition called Soccer and Technology from the FIFA Museum. It'll look at how innovation has shaped soccer's evolution. Well, this is a day where an NHL franchise can be altered for a pretty long time. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, we're talking about the draft lottery.
Yeah, and Tara, if you win the lottery, you get the pleasure of picking number 1 overall. The Flames finished 4th from the bottom of the league standings, and they would love to move up in the lottery. The Flames had a 9.5% chance of moving up from 4 in this year's NHL draft lottery. The Vancouver Canucks, their odds, they were the best, 18.5%. Lottery was held tonight in New Jersey. And it's the Toronto Maple Leafs who move up from number 5 to get the first overall pick in the 2026 NHL entry draft. They also held a lottery for the second overall pick. And the San Jose Sharks get lucky ball number 7, so they draft second overall. As for the Flames, this is the worst possible scenario. They drop from 4th to 6th. Disappointing, but General Manager Craig Conroy says the Flames will still get a very good player.
You always want to win anything we do, but but now we just know 6 is a spot, and we'll really dig in. And I'm really happy with the at least we're at 6. That's the best part. It'll be interesting to see what happens at number 6. I mean, we've been there a few times with Monahan and Tkachuk, so we've gotten really good players there in the past, and I think we're going to get a really good player again.
Conroy says the Flames won't select by position. They're going to pick the best possible player no matter where they play. The NHL Draft Lottery will be held in Buffalo on June 26th and the 27th. Running a marathon isn't easy. It's very taxing on your body. Imagine if you were 76 and still running them. There's no stopping this Calgarian.
You could call Tapan Chakrabarty the running man. He just got back from running marathons in Boston and London. That was marathon number 71 and 72 for the 76-year-old. He's become quite the star in the running world.
They don't believe I'm 76. Most of them, they don't believe I'm 76.
Chakrabarty didn't run his first marathon until he was 50 years old. That was in Vancouver in 2000, and he's been running them ever since. One of the big reasons he started running marathons was for his health. Heart disease runs in his family.
My family has 2 immediate family, my mother and my elder brother. Both of them died from stroke.
In 2022, Tapan was diagnosed with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. He couldn't run for 6 months while he was recovering and rehabbing. He also has type 2 diabetes, but says he feels great now and is happy he's still able to run.
One is to be alive. Because of my issues, I not only have arterial blockage, because 90% was stented. There was another one with 40%. They would not stent it because, so if I don't run, I would not survive.
In the marathon world, you receive the prestigious 6-star medal for running all 6 of the majors. They consist of Tokyo, Boston, London, Berlin, Chicago, and New York. Tapan is in rare company. He has 5 6-star medals.
They sent me another email confirming that you are now the, again, oldest to earn 5 6-star medals. You know how many have earned 5 6-star medals? Only 5 in the whole world, of all ages.
And now he's going for his 6th 6-star medal, and he doesn't plan on putting away the running shoes anytime soon.
Until I cannot run anymore.
He'll get that 6th one.
Yeah,
he'll get that 6th one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about inspirational.
Yeah.
He's probably out there running tonight, Gina. It's a beautiful evening.
I wouldn't blame him. And I mean, we got the Calgary Marathon coming up later this month. So, yeah, a lot of people are probably out and about over the next couple of weeks here training for that. The birds are out and about, too. We've got a kingfisher taken here by Ron at Fish Creek Park for your weather window. Brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Got a couple of fish there for his lunch. Just a great picture there. Shows the sunny conditions that we started to see develop a little later this afternoon too. Tomorrow's going to be great out there. 23 degrees for our high. Some late day showers possible. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm around the province as well. 21 on Thursday and Friday. Very similar pattern that we're going to be experiencing for the rest of the work week here. And then a couple of showers to cool us off on Friday or Saturday.
Thank you, Gina, and thank you for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. We'll see you tomorrow.